Bran glimpsed blind eyes crawling with maggots, a wide mouth and full yellow teeth. It was the size of that made him gasp. It was bigger than his pony, twice the size of the largest hound in his father's kennel. It's no freak, John said calmly. That's a dire wolf. They grow larger than the other kind. Beyond Greyjoy said, "There's not been a direwolf sighted out the wall in 200 years." "I see one now," John replied. Bran tore his eyes away from the monster. That was when he noticed the bundle in Rob's arms. He gave a cry of delight and moved closer. The pup was a tiny ball of gray-black fur, its eyes still closed. It nuzzled blindly against Rob's chest as he cradled it, searching for milk among his leathers, making a sad little whimpery sound. Bran reached out hesitantly. "Go on," Rob told him. "You can touch him." Bran gave the pup a quick, nervous stroke, and turned as John said, "Here you go." His half-brother put a second pup into his arms. "There are 5 of them." Bran sat down in the snow and hugged the wolf pup to his face. Its fur was soft and warm against his cheek. "Direwolves loose in the realm after so many years," muttered Helen. "The master of horse, I like it not." "It is a sign," Jory said. Father frowned. "It is only a dead animal, Jory," he said, yet he seemed troubled. Snow crunched under his boots as he moved around the body. "Do we know what killed her?" "There's something in the throat," Rob told him, proud to have found the answer before his father even asked. "There, just under the jaw." His father knelt and groped under the priest's head with his hand. He gave a yank and held it up for all to see. A foot of shattered antler. Mine snapped off, all wet with blood. A sudden silence descended over the party. The men looked at the antler uneasily, and no one dared to speak. Even Bran could sense the fear, though he did not understand. His father tossed the antler to the side and cleansed his hands in the snow. "I'm surprised she lived long enough to whelp," he said. His voice broke the spell. "Maybe she didn't," Jory said. "I've heard tales. Maybe the bitch was already dead when the pups came." "Born with the dead," another cannon put in. "Worse luck." "No matter," said Helen. "They may be dead soon enough, too." Bran gave a wordless cry of dismay. "The sooner the better," young Greyjoy agreed. He drew his sword. "Give the beast here, Bran." The little thing squirmed against him, as if it had heard and understood. "No!" Bran cried out fiercely. "It's mine." "It'll be a mercy to kill them," Helen said. Bran looked at his father for rescue, and gave only a frown, a furrowed brow. "Helen speaks truly, son. Better a swift death than a hard one from cold and starvation." "No!" He could feel tears welling in his eyes, and he looked away. He did not want to cry in front of his father. "Lord Stark," John said. It was strange to hear him call father that, so formal. Bran looked at him with desperate hope. "There are 5 pups," he told father. 3 male, 2 female. "What of it, John?" "You have 5 true-born children," John said. 3 sons, 2 daughters. The direwolf is the sigil of your house. Your children were meant to have these pups, my lord." Bran saw his father's face change, saw the other men exchange glances. He loved John with all his heart at that moment. Even at 7, Bran understood what his brother had done. It had come at right only because John had omitted himself. He had included the girls, included even Rickon, the baby, but not the bastard who bore the surname Stowe, the name that custom decreed be given to all those in the north unlucky enough to be born with no name of their own. Their father understood as well. "You want no pup for yourself, John?" "Yes," softly. "The direwolf graces the banners of House Stark," John pointed out. "I am no Stark, father." Their lord father regarded John thoughtfully. Robb rusted in silence as he left. "I will nurse him myself, father," he promised. "I will soak a towel with warm milk and give him something mat." "Me too," Bran echoed. The lord weighed his sons long and carefully with his eyes. Easy to say and harder to do. "I'll not have you wasting the servants' time with this. If you want these pups, you will feed them yourselves. Is that understood?" Bran nodded eagerly. The pup squirmed in his grasp, licked at his face with its warm tongue. It was not until they were mounted on their way that Bran allowed himself to taste the sweet air of victory. By then, his pup was snuggled against his leathers, warm against him, safe for the long ride home. Bran was wondering what to name him. Halfway across the bridge, John pulled up suddenly. "What is it, John?" the Lord Father asked. "Can't you hear it?" Bran could hear the wind in the trees, the clatter of the hooves in the ironwood planks, the whimpering of his hungry pup, but John was listening to something else. "There," John said. He swung his horse around and galloped back across the bridge. They watched him dismount where the direwolf lay dead in the snow, watched him kneel. A moment later he was riding back to them, smiling. "He must have crawled away from the others," John said. "Or been driven away," their father said, looking at the sixth pup. His fur was white, where the rest of the litter was gray. His eyes were as red as the blood of the ragged man who had died that morning. Bran thought it curious that this pup alone would have opened his eyes while the others were still blind. "An albino," Theon Greyjoy said with wry amusement. "This one will die even faster than the others." Jon Snow gave his father's ward a long, chilling look. "I think not, Greyjoy," he said. "This one belongs to me."